The kid moves in, fake to the right, spins left, he pumps, he shoots, he scores! And the crowd goes wild. Ah!
Jason is really on today, really in the flow. What he may not realize is that we're all in the flow. The blood flow, that is. That's because all the things we do, even just being alive, depend on the constant flow of blood throughout our bodies, pumped through miles of blood vessels by the never-ending beat of the toughest muscle we have, the human heart.
I guess we don't really think about our blood much, except maybe when we get a cut.
Well, blood is something to think about. It's a living liquid delivery service. It delivers all the things we need to survive: oxygen, water, and food to every part of the body. And on top of that, blood carries away any waste our bodies need to get rid of.
Waste removal. Pretty cool. You know, my dad is going to donate blood today. Why do people do that? I mean, you only have so much blood, right?
Maybe if you knew more about blood and the heart and how they work together to keep you alive and healthy, you'd understand why your dad is giving some of his away. When you work, when you play, when you sleep, when you watch TV, whatever you are doing, blood is moving through your body.
Even when I do this?
Yes, even when you do that. As I was saying, whatever you are doing, your blood is moving within you, carrying good things like nutrients and oxygen to all the parts of your body. Blood is carried throughout the body by an amazing system of blood vessels. Think of blood vessels as tiny roads that connect your heart to the rest of your body. Not impressed? Well, think about this. If all the blood vessels in one person's body were laid end to end, you would have enough to wrap around the earth over 2.5 times. This network of blood vessels is called the circulatory system because it circulates blood throughout your body. That means it goes around and around again and again.
All of that's inside of me? Whoa!
The human body is made of tiny parts called cells. Cells are the smallest living parts of the body. And to stay alive, each cell needs water, oxygen, and nutrients, the good things that are in the food we eat. Each cell also needs to eliminate waste, kind of like emptying the trash. If these things happen, our cells work properly. And that's important because when cells work properly, our bodies work properly. It's all part of an amazing system. Cells work together to make living tissue. Tissues work together to form organs, like the heart, lungs, kidneys, and liver. And all these things together are called an organism. In other words, us. And it wouldn't be possible without blood.
So, the heart and blood are responsible for getting the new supplies in and the old waste out. Got it.
But that's not all. Some blood cells also help to keep you well by fighting off germs and bacteria that can infect your body.
Whoa! I guess blood is important. I hope I've got enough blood to keep me going.
Your body is constantly making new blood, and it's a good thing. You'll need more as you grow older. As we grow taller and our muscles get stronger, we need more blood to keep our bodies working right. When a baby is born, it has less than 1 liter of blood, about the same amount as 1 large bottle of soda. At age 10, you've got about 4 times that much. By the time a person is a healthy adult, they've added 1 more bottle's worth. That's more than 5 liters of blood. This is the blood bank, a place where blood is stored until it is needed by someone who is sick or has been injured.
Wow! Lots of cool equipment. What does it all do?
Well, this is a centrifuge. It spins the blood so fast that it separates the blood into its different parts.
What is blood made of?
A trip to the sea might provide some answers.
Isn't it magnificent? Boy, I just love the ocean. And do you know why? Because I love water.
Seawater isn't just water alone. It has many other things in it, like salt. Blood has many important things in it too, like vitamins and other nutrients we get from the foods we eat. But like seawater, the main ingredient in blood is
Water.
this clear yellowish liquid called plasma makes up more than half of our blood, and it's mostly water too. That's why blood can flow through your body. And it's also what allows the blood to help keep the body cool. All the other parts of the blood float in the plasma as blood flows through the body. Plasma also carries nutrients like sugar, salt, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. But the number one job of the plasma is to transport billions and billions of blood cells around your body.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. Plasma is the liquid part of blood. It carries the blood cells to and from the cells of the body, where the nutrients are delivered and the waste is removed.
Sounds like there are plenty of nutrients flowing to that brain of yours. Now it's time to talk about three other important ingredients: red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. In a single drop of blood, there are over 4 million red blood cells. That's more people than there are in most big cities.
Whoa! Sounds like that drop of blood is way overpopulated.
It does seem like a lot, but you need all those red blood cells because they have to transport something your body needs a whole lot of: oxygen.
I thought we breathed oxygen into our lungs.
We do, but remember that oxygen is needed by every cell in your body. It is the job of the red blood cells to carry oxygen from your lungs to all the cells in your body. It works like this. You breathe oxygen into your lungs. Blood flowing through the lungs is able to pick up the oxygen by storing it in the red blood cells. Then it's off on a 1-minute journey around the body. As they travel, the red blood cells deliver oxygen to the cells in the rest of the body. Once they've dropped off their supply of oxygen, it's pickup time. Red blood cells pick up waste from the cell called carbon dioxide and start the return trip back to the lungs. When they reach the lungs, the carbon dioxide is released by the red blood cells. Any guesses about what happens to the waste carbon dioxide once it's dropped off in the lungs?
Don't tell me. Lungs, breathing, that's what we breathe out.
Bingo! Deliver oxygen, remove carbon dioxide. That's the job of a red blood cell. And that completes our red blood cell tour of the body. But don't worry, each one makes the same trip about 1,000 times every day.
Okay, so we've covered the red blood cells. What about the white blood cells?
All right, this is where things really get exciting, because the main job of the white blood cells is to protect your body from invaders. Think about it. Your blood travels throughout your whole body, visiting every cell along the way. That's great when it's delivering good things like nutrients and oxygen. But if a nasty germ gets into your blood, it gets a free ride to every part of the body. So it makes sense that the blood has its own security guards, the white blood cells. When a germ or anything that's not supposed to be there is spotted in the blood, white blood cells spring into action. They surround the invader and destroy it before it can do any real harm. What's really amazing is that your body plans ahead. It actually sets off a kind of alarm to alert white blood cells whenever there's even a threat of an invasion, like when you have a cut or a scrape. In addition to white blood cells, platelets help protect us too, but in a different way. When we get cut or scraped, germs can get into our blood. But that's not the only danger. As I'm sure you know, when our bodies get cut, we bleed. Like white blood cells, platelets find their way to the site of a cut or scrape. The platelets stick together at the cut and create a sort of screen, like a spider's web, that traps the blood and keeps it inside the body. This is called clotting. When it dries up, it turns into what you call a scab. which can look pretty ugly, but that actually helps your wound heal properly.
I think I can guess now why my dad wanted to give blood. To help other people, right?
Right. By giving blood, your dad could literally save someone's life. When a person suffers a serious injury and loses a great deal of blood very quickly, it may be necessary to receive donated blood from another person, like your dad. There is one catch though. Blood from one person may not work in another person's body. It depends on the blood types.
So there are different kinds of blood?
Not really different kinds. All blood does the same important things for the body it's in, but there are different blood types. It's kind of like matching up socks. When a person needs donated blood, that blood has to match their own. There are 4 basic blood types, and they don't have names, they have letters. A, B, AB, and O. Pretty simple. Doctors and nurses need to be very careful to make sure they know an injured person's blood type so that they can give them blood that matches that type.
I'm sure proud of my dad for doing this. But won't he be short on all of those blood cells we've been talking about?
Not to worry. It'll take your dad's body less than a day to make enough blood cells to replace those he gave away. Both red and white cells are replaced constantly. Okay, we've talked about the blood and all the things it's made of: plasma, blood cells, and platelets. Now it's time to focus on the pump that makes it all happen: the heart. The heart is a muscle about the size of your fist. Its one and only job is to pump blood throughout your body. The heart pumps non-stop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year, every year, throughout your entire life. No breaks, no vacations. You can even hear it pumping away.
Try this. Your mission is to figure out how many times your heart beats in 24 hours.
Whoa, that's gonna take a long time.
Not really. Here's something you can make that will make it easy for you to hear your heart pumping. You'll need a funnel and 3 rubber hose pieces that fit on the end of the funnel. You'll also need a stopwatch, a calculator, and a 3-way connector. Attach the funnel to one of the rubber hoses. Attach the other end to the connector. Now attach the remaining hoses to the Y connector also. You might need some tape to keep it on tight. Put the funnel over your heart and the ends of the hoses in your ears. Now be very quiet. What do you hear? That's your heartbeat. This is called a stethoscope, and it's just a simple version of what your doctor or nurse uses to hear your heartbeat.
I can really hear my heartbeat.
That's an important rhythm you're listening to. It means that your heart is alive and well, which is why your heartbeat is one of the first things checked when you visit the doctor's office.
Next, count how many times your heart beats in 10 seconds. Multiply that by 6 to get your heartbeats per minute. Now do the math to figure out how many times your heart beats in a day.
The heart has to keep beating or the body would not have all the things it needs to live: oxygen, nutrients, and vitamins. To get all that stuff where it needs to go, your heart beats between 60 and 80 times a minute. That's...
Wait a minute. That's more than 100,000 beats every day.
Let's move on, shall we? Your heart is really a muscle that's hollow, with 4 chambers like little rooms inside. The 2 chambers on your right side pump blood from your body to your lungs. This is the blood that needs to drop off carbon dioxide and pick up fresh oxygen. The chambers on the left side of your heart pump blood with oxygen from the lungs and out to the rest of the body. Each heartbeat really has 2 parts. As the heart squeezes or contracts and then relaxes. Every time the heart muscle contracts, blood is forced out of the heart. When the heart relaxes, trapdoors called valves open up to let more blood flow in to fill the heart again. And that's how the heart works. Contract, relax, over and over again. The blood vessels that carry blood loaded with oxygen away from the heart are called arteries. Those that bring the blood back to the heart are called veins. To make sure that the blood in your arms and legs doesn't ever start to flow backwards, the veins also have valves to keep the blood always flowing in the right direction. Every time your heart beats, pumping blood through your body, you can feel it. This slight throb is called a pulse, and you can actually feel it at certain spots on your body. This is a quick and easy way to count the beats of your heart.
Try this. It's easy to feel your pulse. There are veins and arteries in your neck, just below your jaw. If you place your fingers lightly on that area, you can feel your pulse, the beat of your heart. Now let's see how activity changes your pulse. First, relax and check your pulse. Now, do some exercise. And check your pulse again. What happened?
What you'll find is that your heart doesn't beat at the same rate all the time. The more you run around, the more oxygen your body needs. If you're doing something that uses up a lot of oxygen, the heart beats faster to keep the supply of blood carrying fresh oxygen coming.
Right, from the heart to all the cells of the body.
Exactly. Think about how you feel when you've been running or jumping. Your heart is beating much faster than normal, making sure that your body gets the energy it needs to work.
You know, this circulatory stuff is starting to make some sense.
But we've left out one small detail, and I do mean small. Besides the veins and arteries, which are the larger roads to and from the heart, there are the capillaries. Capillaries are the body's smallest blood vessels, the key to making sure that the blood cells and nutrients reach every cell of the body. Capillaries are so tiny that often red blood cells must line up single file just to fit through them. Arteries, veins, capillaries. The thing to remember is that even though all of these different kinds of blood vessels have different jobs, they all depend on your heart to pump the blood back and forth throughout your body. Just like any other part of your body, your blood and your heart need to be looked after. This means making sure that you get plenty of rest, exercise, and eat the right kind of foods that are filled with nutrients. It's also important to clean any cuts or scrapes. That will mean fewer germs for those white blood cells to fight off. And one more thing. Since blood can carry germs, it's a good idea to never touch anyone else's blood. Anyway, you've got plenty of your own.
So now I know that my blood, heart, and blood vessels are really keeping me in the flow.
Blood delivers the things we need to survive: oxygen, water, and food to every part of our bodies. It also carries away the waste. Blood travels through blood vessels like tiny roads that connect your heart to the rest of your body, right down to your cells, the smallest living parts of you.
But if a nasty germ gets into my blood, it has its own security guards, the white blood cells. They destroy the invaders.
None of it would work without your heart. Its one and only job is to pump blood throughout your body. With all this important stuff going on inside us, we need to take care of our bodies, getting plenty of rest and good food, and keeping our bodies clean, especially if we have a cut or scrape.
If I stay healthy, I may be able to donate some of my blood someday to help others. That's what I call teamwork.